Before we can get into promoting yourself and your artwork, you have to be able to identify three key things. Number one, you have to be able to identify what your services are. So think about all of the different things that you have to offer as a designer. Do you do watercolors? Are you a painter? Do you do web design? Make a list of all of the different services that you have to offer right now. Number two, you have to be able to identify who needs these services. So now let's try and make a list of the different people or organizations that you think would benefit from these services of yours. And the last thing you have to be able to identify is where can you find these people or organizations that are in need of these services. Now, these are the three most important things that you need to remember before you start promoting your work, because now you know exactly who you're promoting to and you know where you're going to find them. As a business owner, the one thing you want to keep in mind is what problems do your creations solve for people? If you're able to effectively solve a problem for a client, then you'll always find work. You'll always be able to find work because you know what solutions they need. So again, think about number one, what is it that you offer? Who is it that you're offering it to? And where can you find these people or organizations that you want to offer these services to? Next, let's talk about promoting yourself and your artwork. The obvious solution is social media. Now, the tricky thing about social media is just because Instagram is working really well for your friend, that doesn't mean it's going to work well for you. Again, remember we spoke about identifying what your services are, who needs them, and where can you find the people or organizations that need these services? Well, maybe the people who need these services are on LinkedIn. They might not be on Instagram. And even though everybody's on Instagram, that might not be the platform for you, because you want to position yourself so that you're right in front of them. Another way to promote your work is to have other people promote it for you. For example, you might have some friends and family who would be willing to either change the avatars on their social media platforms or their background images with some of your artwork or some of your creations. And it just helps build a bit of a buzz. You know, people get curious as to who created that design or that illustration, and you have multiple family and friends promoting your work for free. Another option is you do paid ads on Facebook or Instagram. These can be very effective. The trick that I like to use is I'll create a post and I'll see what type of feedback it generates. If I get a lot of followers or likes or interaction with different people, then I'll be more likely to pay for an ad that organically does well on its own. So like let's say you make three posts and one of those three generates a lot of comments and questions, possibly generates new followers for you, or just out of the three has the most likes. Now, if this post is one of your newest pieces of artwork, then that's the one that you may want to put some money behind. And you don't need to put a lot, $10, $15, $20, whatever your budget is. But the point is, you want to start promoting and letting people know that you create these types of designs. Because what's the point of being the most talented artist, but nobody knows you exist? So these are just some of the options that you have to promote yourself right from home. One of the other key elements that has helped me as a business owner is just building a reading list, creating a list of books that have been influential in helping me learn more about business, learn more about the craft, about animation, about illustration. I'll read through a series of comic books just to get inspired by, the artwork in them. Find the things that inspire you, find the things that motivate you, and surround yourself with that. but definitely get into the habit of reading more books on business. And the more you learn about business, the better you'll be able to manage yourself and your clients when you get a project. Okay, now let's talk about building key relationships. I like to surround myself with like minded individuals, other artists, other entrepreneurs, people who are always growing and thinking and trying new things, because what that does is it inspires you to try more and to try harder and to try new things. Sometimes you just need somebody to bounce ideas off of, and that in itself could be very valuable. So think about who you have in your network right now: friends, colleagues, schoolmates who are artists, maybe some educators that you might know, or even trying to get into building a community on Facebook, online, LinkedIn, and start talking with other artists who might be able to have a direct link to some of your target audience, and vice versa. You might be able to help each other out. So definitely think about surrounding yourself with other people that are going to motivate and inspire you to keep moving and keep practicing your craft. Another great thing about building key relationships is that it can actually help you generate revenue down the line. Here's what I mean. So let's say, for example, you're a watercolor painter. In this community that you build, of this network that you're surrounding yourself with, you meet an animator, a photographer, and a fashion designer. You land a client who's looking for a watercolor painter, which is your strength, but you find out they're also looking for a photographer, they're also looking for an animator. You can take that job on and just outsource it to the photographer and the animator. And this is the beginning of the transformation from freelancer to entrepreneur, because you'll still get paid for the work that you do as a watercolor painter, but you're also going to be managing the work that the photographer does and that the animator does. And this is why it's important to have these key relationships, because even though you specifically don't have that service, you know of other artists who do. You can both get paid from it. One of the most important factors of creating opportunities for myself is creating a list of goals. So I'll make a list of goals that I want to achieve, say 6 months from now to a year from now. And the goals could be anything, like, a year from now, I want to publish a book, either through a publisher or independently. Another goal could be, I want to create a line of t-shirts and sell them online on my website. So you think about what goals you want to achieve 6 months from now and a year from now. Write them down. Everything that you do from this point on should help you get closer to those goals that you've set for yourself. Now, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't make a list of like 1,000 things you want to accomplish. Try to be practical about it. 4 or 5 things. Start small and just work on different projects that'll help you get closer to that. So if, let's say, one of the goals is to create t-shirts and sell the merchandise online, one of the goals you might set for yourself is every week you're going to create one new illustration that you're going to later put on a t-shirt and then on your website and sell it. So if you do one t-shirt design a week for 1 year, you're going to have 52 designs by the end of the year that you can now market and sell on your website. Not bad. I mean, you can take it up a notch, but just start small. Start thinking about a big goal you want to achieve and some smaller steps that you can do to get closer to that. And that's going to help you with creating opportunities for yourself. So a lot of times, as you're working on building yourself and building your portfolio, other people might see the need for your services. So it's sort of like two things. One, you're constantly building yourself and building your portfolio and creating new projects, but at the same time, you're keeping an eye on your target audience and what you think they might need, so that you can create stuff specifically for their needs. But always think about your goals. Always have a goal in mind. And I like to break my goals down like this. I'll have a 1-year goal, 3-year goals, 5-year goals, and just work backwards towards that. Start thinking about, okay, a year from now, I want to accomplish these things. Let me break that down. How much of that do I need to do in 1 month? How much of that work do I need to do in 1 week? So like we just finished covering, if you do one design a week, that's 52 designs. That's fantastic. So you're not overwhelming yourself with the list of, I got to do 10 drawings a day. I'll set a weekly goal. I'll set a daily goal. And if your weekly goals look like, your goals for the year, then you might want to, take it back a notch. Don't overwhelm yourself. 2 or 3 things for the day, or 3 to 5 things for the week that you want to accomplish, and accomplish it. And once you start accomplishing these goals, these little goals, it starts building up. And every single goal you accomplish is getting you closer to the goal that you want to hit for the end of the year. One of the other things that I like to do with respect to setting goals is you want to keep the goals around you all the time to serve as a reminder. So for example, I might have my goals on a whiteboard at home, at the office. I may have it written down in a calendar on my phone. I'll write it on some Post-its. I have a journal that I keep with me, a notebook. I'll write it down in there. Just surround yourself with these goals all the time, and you'll always be able to stay in that mindset, in that mind frame of, all right, this is one of the things I need to accomplish today, or for the week, and use that to help motivate you and inspire you to knock that goal out. Okay, now let's talk about creating opportunities for yourself. Typically, a freelancer is going to be on Craigslist or Upwork or Freelancer or any of these other websites that are dedicated to helping you find gigs, which is fantastic. The problem is it can get very tiresome, very time consuming, and a lot of times those gigs don't pay very well. So you find yourself spending so much time for very little payback. So one of the things that I like to do to create an opportunity for myself is I like to pitch directly to organizations, businesses versus consumers. Businesses are going to have a little bit more money to handle, different projects different services that you can offer. But think larger scale. If you create watercolors or if you create paintings, maybe your target market is a children's hospital. And instead of approaching them and trying to get them to buy one piece of artwork, you can approach them and say, first you want to make sure you're approaching the right person. Don't approach the secretary if the person who's in charge of the artwork on the wall is the director. So make sure you're speaking to the right person. And once you've contacted that person, then you make a very soft pitch to them. You ask them, how frequently do they rotate the artwork that's on the walls, because you have an incredible series that you would love to pitch to them. And, you get everything in writing and you want to start thinking larger. So you think about, instead of selling one piece, sell 20 pieces to them, and just keep doing that. Keep trying different hospitals, keep trying different organizations that hang artwork that's similar to your type of work. Once you land one of these clients, this is what you're going to use to land more clients. So it's a numbers game. You definitely do. There's still a little bit of time that's going to be involved in it, but it's more intentional, and the payback is going to be a lot larger than just, a quick little $200-$300 gig. So you create opportunities for yourself by going out there and finding specifically the people or organizations whose problems your services solve. So one of the important things about creating opportunities for yourself is actually creating a workflow. You want to create a workflow that will make it easier to reach out to different organizations. So sometimes I'll create an email, very basic, very generic, and then I'll make a list on Google Sheets, and I'll just make a list of all of the different potential clients that I want to reach out to, the different organizations. Another way to create opportunities for yourself is to just continue creating work and posting your work online, your website, social media. Just stay busy practicing your craft, whatever it is, because a lot of times clients may not know what they want until they see what you have to offer. Or they don't even know that you offer these things, but because you're now posting, oh, check out my latest web design page or my photography from a wedding that I shot, somebody might be looking for a photographer for a quinceañera or another event. And now that you've posted this, you've made them aware of it. So you create opportunities by continuing to work on your craft every single day. The more services that you offer, the more opportunities you're going to have available to you. Now, I know they say you don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none, but when you're freelancing, it actually works in your favor because you can do what's called the upsell, which is similar to what happens when you go to a fast food place. You go to McDonald's and you order, a hamburger, and they say, do you want fries with that? You want a soda with that? You want to supersize it? That's the upsell. So they're adding extra things to your order. 9 times out of 10, we'll accept some of it. So the same thing applies when you're speaking with a client. And let's say the client just wants a logo design. That's all they ask for. They want a logo design. And while you're listening to this client, you're thinking in the back of your mind, all right, well, what else can I offer this individual or this company? You might ask, okay, great, I'll be able to knock out this logo design for you. Who's building your website? Let's say that's a service you offer. They might respond, they don't have anybody right now. You can throw that in as part of the package. Well, I can offer you web design as well. Who's designing the merchandise for the logo? We don't have anybody yet. Great, I can design the logo, I can put it on some merchandise for you, and I can build your website. And the key thing is you always want to give them options. You always want to give them more than one thing. So if they ask for a logo, give them a quote for a logo and a website and some other stuff. They may say no, they might just go with the logo, and that's fine. But get into the habit of offering different packages. Don't just offer one, offer 3 or 4 different things, because you might be surprised. They may actually end up going for the higher package and you've made triple the amount of money. All right, so those are just some of the tips and strategies that I've used to help my business. And, important thing to remember is this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It may take some time to see the results that you want. That's why it's important to keep your goals on the wall, because that's kind of your roadmap. This is what you're hoping to achieve. It's going to remind you the baby steps that you need to take in order to knock out some of those goals.
Hey everyone, my name is Skye Amber Sweet, also known as Skye Poet. I'm a street artist, a canvas manipulator, and a mentor here in the art community. I'm currently located in Silver Lake, which is in Los Angeles, which is a pretty cool, radical place to live when it comes to art and when it comes to hustling. So I was asked to do this interview to share my thoughts on what I do to work during the pandemic, not during the pandemic, and pretty much any time that I, choose an opportunity. And I want to share with you a few things about what makes it easy to be successful in really hard times. As many people know that talk to me a lot, know that I wasn't always an artist. I've been able to draw when I was younger. My mother pushed me to be an artist when I was younger. However, that was not my path. I moved here to California when I was 18 years old from Las Vegas, grew up in Hawaii, and I just transitioned into work right after college and making money. I love to make money, but it's not from greed. It's not from wanting it all. But it's really from being able to provide for myself and take care of my family. I love money because money gives you the opportunity to do more things with your family. I get to do more things with my family and for my children by making sure that I give myself opportunity. And, some people would say that opportunity is not happening right now. It's COVID-19. There's a lot of things that are locked down. There's a lot of situations that are really hard on everybody. And I have to tell you, they're super hard on me too. Things aren't as rad. They're not as chill, but we can still be really boss in our own home and in our own life. And this is how I do it. First off, passion. I'm a very passionate person. I find passion in everything, from cleaning the house to my plants. I'm a plant lover. I absolutely love plants. They give us the life, that we need and the oxygen that we deserve, I guess. Or maybe that's backwards, but it doesn't matter. Passion can come in many different forms. I believe that passion is what drives people. And when you're driven, I think there's more excitement. And sometimes you lose that passion. Sometimes you lose that excitement. But you have to look within yourself to find it again. I find that every morning I wake up. That's the first thing. I wake up in the morning, I look over at my son, and I smile. And then I sit back and I think, what are the things that I have to do today? I know I have to teach, because COVID, we're locked up, we're in prison. But I have to make an impact on my children's education at home. That's just how it is, and that's okay. Change is good. I have to make sure that I stay creative, that I don't let dormancy fall into my life, and I don't want my creativity to go dormant. So sometimes I do have to think about pushing myself, and that means I don't feel like painting today, but I'm going to paint anyway. So maybe it's just me taking a pen or a paper and just doing a 5-minute doodle. That's where it starts. And then as I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of chill. This is really rad. I want to continue doing it. And in the end, 5 minutes is up and I'm like, wow, I created this cool piece. Let me create something else. Let's go bigger, right? So I do that checklist. I know that I'm going to push myself to do at least one project a day that's creative. And then I think about marketing, because I do think marketing is really, really important. And I say, what do I think about marketing? Is marketing going to social networks and blowing up social networks, asking for money, asking to buy my paintings, asking for murals? No. My marketing, or my approach to marketing, which is kind of my hustle, is just being me. Boing. Number one, being yourself. and putting yourself out there, whether you feel vulnerable or scared. It's marketing your fear. And I say that in a weird way because you're probably like, well, what the hell is marketing fear? It means that if you're fearful of putting yourself out there and showing a new piece or an idea that maybe isn't currently your style, to do it anyway. Just post what you have, but don't overpost. I post once or twice a day about my art, unless it's a holiday where I'm like having like a Labor Day sale, which I sold one painting, but that's another story. At least one sold, right? So the fear of getting rejected or somebody wouldn't hire you because of your post or your art or your new creative idea. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Marketing is just your image of you, who you are, and almost kind of like branding yourself. Not branding yourself in a way that it's a corporate idea or you're this big company, but branding yourself in the way that you have a schedule. My marketing starts off after I wake up, after having my checklist in the morning, is doing it, right? So every morning I wake up, I put a post. If I don't have something new, I put something old. If I don't have something old that I want to show, I might do a doodle. I might show a mural that I did, or I may share a memory of a project that I was involved with. Okay, so marketing starts with you and just letting go of the fear of, oh my God, I have nothing new, or oh my God, I don't have any dinero to, pay for a Facebook ad on my page or whatever it is. That stuff doesn't matter. For me, my hustle is to be present, to know that I'm important in my creative mind, in my creative space, and to just do it anyway. So, marketing for me, that's one thing. Another thing is I like to do free things for people. It means nothing about me as an artist as far as I give free stuff away. What it means is I like to share. Hell, I'm a share bear, care bear. I really am. I believe that if you want things to come into your life, you're going to have to make room. So you have to share. If you share, you're making room to receive. And that's what I do. And that is part of my marketing, but technically it's just the makeup of who I am and me. I sometimes I just feel like giving a free painting away because number one, it makes me feel good. Number two, it makes you feel good or someone else feel good out there. And number three, it's a win-win situation and they share it and they love it. And it's a great way to market your art without having to pay the Facebook page sponsors or, put ads in a magazine or whatnot. So, and I babble a lot. If you didn't know, I'm called, Skye Poet. I'm a random sphere of logical babble because I babble. I don't have the right way to do it. I just kind of just talk and want to share kind of like just how I do it, what I do. So yeah, just lose the fear. Just do what you. If you feel like doing something or giving something free or helping somebody out, it's almost like a win-win situation because you get free marketing. And not that that's what you're going for, but it works, or at least it works for me. And again, I don't want that to sound like, oh my God, she gives free stuff away on purpose. No, it makes me feel good. And it's kind of marketing my heart, which is marketing my soul. It's letting you guys know who I am as an artist because you see my art, you feel my art. I know you do. I get emails and calls, and now you get to kind of be a part of me. And I think that's so important. This video is about hustling, but truly it's just about believing in yourself, marketing on your own terms, and marketing, that word kind of blows. It's just really showing people who you are because you care about yourself and you care about your art because you're creative and you have something so special to show. And I do believe that about myself. I truly am my biggest fan. And I think that's another part of my hustle is we've all been in dark places, in light places, in happy places, in fearful places. But if we remember who we are, first off, and what our goal is, we can do anything. And that brings me to another topic, goals. I am a thinker. I constantly think. I want to be in a mindset daily, hourly, every minute, that puts me out of a box where, okay, cool, well, this sounds good. I wonder if this would work. You know what? I don't even care if they work. I'm going to be a risk taker. I'm just going to try it. And then my mind keeps going somewhere else. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm brainstorming. So I start brainstorming. I'm like, well, if I want to do this mural, but I want to get paid to do the mural, how do I do it? Where do I begin? How do I network? Honestly, if I think about it, I'm kind to people. I'm helpful. I always keep my contacts. I know people from elementary school that I still talk to. Maybe we lost touch for years and years and years, but when I became an artist, I wanted to share that passion and my art with everybody. So I contact them on social networks. I said, hey, hello, how are you doing? I wanted to share with them, and then I wanted to share. Oh my God, I'm losing topic because I babble so much, but I never lose a contact. I try to befriend everyone, and there's nothing behind it except for, wanting to know where people are in their lives, stand in their lives, and also want to share, who I am and where I've gone and who I've become. And I think that being honest with yourself in that, and being honest with the people that you've known or or you want to meet, just a genuine smile, a genuine conversation, touching base with people that you've networked or worked with before in the past, that's huge in my hustle. And it's not even a hustle. It's just who I am. And if you're like that too, do it more often, because people want to help you. They want to support you. And if they love your art, they want to buy your art. No, they're not kissing your ass and buying it because they want to make you feel better. People buy because, of course, mostly because of the person. You can sell art because of you. It doesn't have to be you pushing to sell art, but people, they want to know you so that they can know what that art piece meant. And I think that's why I get a lot of jobs. I think that's why when I do paint a tree, it sells the first day, is I am open. I am open. I wear everything on my sleeves, and I just share. And really, I think being kind, being generous, living your best life, loving, sharing, and appreciating everyone that you've ever met, when it comes to being an artist, that is key. I think that's it. I think I hit it on the nail with myself. So people like you. They like who you are. They like your art. Maybe they've purchased one piece. Maybe they've purchased 5, 10, 15. I have one client that has nearly, 20. I think 18. And no, it's not because he buys to like, hey, let me help you out, babe. That's not it. It's because he genuinely likes my art, but can relate to me. And I think we all have stories. We have these stories in our art. Some of my pieces are, they're really dark. And I have a lot of clients and friends and networks that ask me, they say, Skye, how could your paintings, your public art, be so happy, and then you put this piece up on Facebook, and I'm like, what happened? Did something happen? Are you okay? Is COVID too much? There's all these questions people are asking, because they want to know, they want to learn, but it's because I'm open with them. I put fear aside. I risk putting my heart out. I risk giving art away. I risk having my deep, darkest secrets just spat out all over canvas. but I also share the beauty behind things, because I know where there is light, there is darkness, and where there is darkness, there is light. And so maybe my canvases, I call myself, the canvas manipulator, because I do. I manipulate my emotions and my thoughts in my soul, and I just bury them into the canvas. But then I also want to change people's lives. I want to change the world. I want children and the youth and even adults, young and old, to be able to see something beautiful, because we all have ugly. I am ugly. I've had ugly experiences. I've done ugly things. But I can change that all by giving something so important and so special to the public eye. And that's murals. I paint a lot of murals. I've painted murals through COVID. I have not stopped painting murals for 3 years. The last 2 years have all been referrals. Minus one utility box that I just shared with you guys last week or two ago. I submitted to that, but still, she emailed me and she says, Skye, would you like to submit? Why did she email me? Think about it. So I do many things, again, that have nothing to do with my art. I stop, I ask people how they're doing. I send emails. Merry Christmas. Hey, I haven't heard from you for a couple years. What's going on in your world? Is there any art projects maybe that I could help out with or I can be a part of? Send me the links. So she sent me the link. So I did reach out first, and she reached out back. But again, it's just building those relationships, building rapport with people, and not forgetting all the people from your past. I've worked with people before in other industries that are now some of my biggest clients that I've sold my biggest pieces to because I kept in touch. I believe that a true hustler just has a good heart. And if you have a good heart, which I'm sure you do, share it with the world. Share the ugly, share the beauty, share the fear, share the vulnerability. That is what makes people know you. And when they know you, they either don't want to know anymore, they want to run as fast as they can, or they want to know more, right? Like, what is in Skye's brain? Why does she paint like that? Why does she talk to everybody? Years back, I had a few artists really upset about the way I did art, how I shared, how I did my murals, why was I giving free stuff away? They thought it was a gimmick. They thought that was the hustle. That's not the hustle. Technically, I have no hustle. But because this is a hustling video, if I had to say what it is, I love people, I share, I care, and I do my best. I don't take a job unless I know I can do it. But then again, if I don't know if I can do it, I take the job. But how do you get paid? That's another question. It's my plan. I love my plan. But how do you get played? I don't want to get played. But how do you get paid? I give quotes and prices in 2 different ways. I share with people, clients and whatnot, what I need from them for supplies, for cleaning supplies, for anything in the mural that I'm going to use that has to do with that mural. This is the budget for that. This is what I need. It's the same thing with canvas art. It's pretty much every commission, even the movie industry when I do films and production companies crap. This is my list. This is unchangeable. This is nothing you can change. Okay, this is my $500 for my paint supplies, whether I use them or not, is this much. You cannot tweak that. Then I have a design fee. So I have my design fees, and then I have my working artist fee. So I have 3 fees, 3 budgets, 1 estimate, and The worst thing that's going to happen when you send an estimate, and I know fear plays a role in a lot of your minds when you're estimating. You're like, well, maybe I should just discount it like $1,000, or maybe I shouldn't take it. They're going to say no. I just send it to them anyway, and I'm like, you know what? I want to hear you say no. Just say no. I'm going to send you my estimate. Again, this won't change. This is my artist fee. I can work with it, but I don't tell people that. I give them the budget, and I say, this is the things that I need. This, I believe, is fair. If it's fair for you, because this price is fair for me, let's do this. When can I start? It's all about asking for the sale. I don't think about them saying no, because I want no's. The more no's that you get, eventually, because that's how numbers and percentages work, the more times you ask, the more no's you request, the more yeses you eventually get. And then that's kind of how I work. So, I've sent a lot of estimates out, and I've rarely gotten a no. Usually they just won't email me back. And then, so that's a cold lead, but I'm going to keep it. And then you have the ones that mail you back and they're like, I really, really want to get this done. However, this is our budget. Is there a way that you can work with me here? Now, what I've learned is most of the time, the budget is a lot lower than what they'll do, because people are smart. They know that there is, a negotiation in between, discussing money. And so, with estimates and stuff, if someone says that they can't do it, it's $400 too much, I'm willing to work with them, because I've already put in my budget 3 different things. A design fee, an artist fee, and my budget for supplies. Supplies never change. Artist fee usually never changes for me, but I do have that 3rd fee, which is a design fee, that I can play with. And it's usually the fee that I say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take this fee out. What I find is being able to negotiate in a very positive way that works out for both parties is always a win-win situation. I believe, and I'm really, I'm not going to say I'm bad at math, because I don't want to put myself down. I could be better at math, but the percentage that I'm guessing or estimating is probably maybe a 10% of clients or potential clients and referrals will turn the initial price down. And I'll set them aside as a cold lead. The ones that are warm leads that do turn it down, I feel them out, and if I know that I can take a few $100s off and it'll be worth their while, and the kids are going to see it, or it's for a good cause, I mean, why not? Especially during COVID, why not go paint? Why not go share your art? And number one thing I have to tell you is, why not practice? I believe anytime that you help the situation and you get to paint and both parties are happy, you win, because you're out there making a difference, sharing your art, I say my heart, with the world, and you're practicing. How amazing is that? For me, it's super boss. I absolutely love it, and I would continue doing it for the rest of my life, I believe. Unless I get really old and I can't move anymore, which it could be. I don't know. I paint so much, it could be the issue that ends my career. But that was really negative. But you know what I mean. So anyway, I'm so glad that you let me just ramble and babble. There's not much to say about my hustle. There really isn't, because I don't believe that I'm a hustler. The only thing I do is I know why I paint. I know why I want to make money. I love money because I love my kids. It has nothing to do with, and I love my plants. I just repeated that again. So, all you can do is be you, be vulnerable. Put that fear aside and ask for no's. You want people to tell you no. Tell me no, because someone's going to tell you yes. The biggest advice I can give to you is to be present, be passionate, be persistent. Someone saying that they don't like a price doesn't mean you've lost the job. It just means you have to communicate. And if it doesn't work out with that job, take that design elsewhere. I do. And I'll say one more thing. Okay, two more things. I don't know. I might say a few more things. There's been times that I've had murals canceled. They found someone cheaper that can do something very similar. And I never get mad because in my heart, in my brain, my soul, I know that the job wasn't fit for me. It wasn't for me. And in your job, you have to be the boss. You're the boss. You do the projects that make you feel good. You do the projects that make you want to do more projects, that make you, that pushes yourself to be better. I do every day. I take on a lot of jobs that I've never done before, a lot of pieces that I would have never thought that I've been able to do, a lot of mediums that were just so alien and new to me that I said yes. I took a yes and said I will figure it out when I get there. Fear causes a lot of setback in the art industry. And when I mean art industry, I just mean from what I know about my own. And to lose fear by loving yourself and knowing that you freaking rock, I think that's key. So I assume you're going to have an amazing day. I hope you do check out my art. If you ever have any questions on tips to be successful in the art world, or just how to be better to yourself so that you can share the best parts of you to others and the world, ask me. All my information is all over the internet, including Instagram, Facebook, and my website, www.skyepoet.com. I'm always available. My number is public. Feel free to text me, and that's no joke. I'm wishing you guys all an amazing, amazing rest of the year, and just remember to keep it positive. There's things you can't control right now, and some things suck. But what you can control is you. See you later.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for choosing me to be today on this panel for Doing the Hustle. I'd like to thank Jeff Barber for assigning me for this. My name is Naomi Young, and I'm a local artist living in Santa Clarita for the past 37 years. I'm a published writer and a multimedia artist. I belong to the Santa Clarita Artists Association, and I think that it helps to solidify my identity as an artist and to share and connect with other artists, displaying my art in our gallery. It's really a wonderful group to belong to. I work with many mediums. I paint with oil, acrylics, watercolors, pastels, sculpturing, and I'm also a mosaic artist. Was I always an artist? Basically, I'm a self-taught artist. I only looked at art in museums and galleries, but that was it. I didn't really get into it till 18 years ago. I registered my youngest son to an art class. I told this teacher, someday when I'm old and retired, I'll do art. Then I said, don't put your life on hold. I sat down with those 8-year-old kids, and I haven't stopped since. So the subject today is how to hustle. The word hustle can mean pushy and aggressive, kind of has a negative connotation to it, but it also can mean that it's you're very determined and willing to push through and grow. As a Taurus, I think it's a very good trait to have in life. I'd rather look at it as a self-promotion. Is it bad to promote myself? I don't think so. Promoting yourself in any business is believing that you deserve to be on the map, that your voice deserves to be heard. Although art is not my main source of income, I feel very inspired and motivated to create and express myself. I wake up every morning with excitement and purpose and enthusiasm and passion to do art. It inspires me. I surround myself with art, paintings of colleagues, my own paintings. I sit in my backyard flipping through art books. I enjoy coffee with my favorite coffee mug with my paintings on it. And it just reminds me daily to show up to my easel, to my blank paper, to myself. In my artist's statement, it says that my thoughts create my emotions create actions, and my actions create my reality. I feel that we are what we believe we are. We can be anything we set our mind to be. Based on the choices we make, we create joy. And I feel that I need to share my God-given talents. Maybe they'll inspire somebody else just like I get inspired every day. I feel that I'm a channel. I inspire people through my art. I'm a conduit. All forms of art, sculpturing, painting, music are all universal languages. Writers put their books in libraries and bookstores. Painters put their art in museums and galleries. And musicians perform on stage, on tour. We all have the need to share our art. My painting and writing started as a hobby at age 12. I was writing mainly for myself. But a few years ago, I started to send my writing of short stories and poems to the Santa Clarita Signal newspaper. And I got great feedback from people who told me that they enjoy my writing. I have been writing Hebrew as well as in English. And last year, at age 65, I published finally my book. And that was a dream of mine, 50 plus years in the making. So if anybody is inspired today to see that it's never too late to follow your dreams, that will really make my day, to see that at any age we can conquer and fulfill our dreams. Did I hustle when my book came out? You bet. Since my book was written in Hebrew, I traveled to Israel. And I had 4 book launching. I took with me small prints of my art. I took my greeting cards and small books and calendars with my paintings on each page so people can frame them if they want. My books have, it's like almost a catalog. And so I was very prepared. You gotta hit the iron while it's hot. I took with me all this stuff, and I had great sales in Israel. So how do we promote our art? You got to remember to use the resources we have available in this city. This city believes in promoting the art. They want us to have a great experience with art. We got to use it. Last week we had an exhibit here that's called Sweet. And I had 7 small paintings in there. Because they were so small, I felt that I could offer them as a set. And I had nothing to lose, and they accepted them. Right now, we have an exhibit there that's called the ABC Canvas. 26 artists participated in this. I got the letter D. And this painting right here is called Delightful Dance of Daisies at Dusk. And so you see, I just did a shameless plug. After all, what's an art show without the audience to see it? A few years ago, Jeff Barber asked me to show my paintings of domes of Jerusalem in Newhall Library. And I was very flattered and happy to do that. I love Jerusalem, that's where I'm from, and as the saying goes, the girl can leave the city, but the city does not leave the girl. So after all these years, I'm still in love with the city of Jerusalem. Very unique in its architecture. It's full of domes. We did a show that was called Domes. And this is the postcard with my signature painting in bold, vibrant colors. And on the other side, it has my artist statement. I hand delivered these postcards to all the businesses and restaurants in Newhall. Personally, went to Lyons Avenue, Main Street with the card and my business card. We needed to make sure that we have good crowd coming to the reception. I was more than happy to show paintings of my Jerusalem in Santa Clarita. It was a unique kind of art that people are not used to it. I don't think there is another artist who uses the colors of Jerusalem the way I do. Those paintings and mosaic that I had in there were for 4 months at the Newhall Library. At the reception night, I was very prepared to capture the excitement. And again, you have to have all your materials in there. My family members were ready to sell for me while I was socializing with my audience. And so I had calendars for sale. I had greeting cards, my books, and mini prints of my art that are a lot more affordable. This way people can take a piece of me to put in their homes. I'm still very humbled by people willing to spend their hard-earned money on my art. I know that art is not a necessity, it's definitely a luxury, but it's something that we all need in our lives. It makes me feel great to do it, and the beauty of art is doing miracles for all of us. And so it's definitely essential in our lives. Did I become rich from doing these shows? No. But for me, it's really not about the money. I'm just happy to create every day, and I'm happy that I can share it with people. And if some of them buy it and enjoy it in their homes, fine. So right after that successful show, Jeff suggested that I would do a live demo on how to do mosaic. I believe I'm the only artist in Santa Clarita who does mosaic. Doing mosaic is very painstaking. As you can see, it's all tiles that are broken and glued to make an image together. Obviously, I couldn't do in 1 hour a complete work with people to finish grouting it, but I did a live demo just to show them how it's done. So hopefully soon I'll be able to have a workshop with people who are asking about mosaic. They say hustle in silence, but let your success make the noise. Of course, I try all the time to put my stuff out there. In the beginning, I thought, wow, a solo art show? I've never done it before. A live demo? I've never done that before. But the bigger the challenge, I feel that we grow. We push our comfort zone. It just makes us a bigger artist, a bigger writer, because we learn from the experience. Very grateful for the people who I've met along the way and were instrumental in my growth. So after that, I've done 2 solo art shows at the Kenyan Theater Guild. By now, I had to be my own curator. Jeff is curator extraordinaire, but I had to do it all by myself. I had to make sure that I have a cohesive exhibit. I printed my own postcards with the information where and when. I put 5 or 6 photographs of my paintings. I had to, of course, put them in places all over town with my business card. And again, with the press release to the newspapers, to the magazines, to Seasons Magazine, Santa Clarita Magazine, Elite, Signal newspaper, radio shows, cover as much as possible to make sure that we get a good crowd in our reception with the food and music and photographers and videographers. I think that the video of my live demo during the mosaic is still running. It's about close to 4,000 viewers by now. Of course, right after the live demo, we had reviews of it in the newspaper, but the mosaic demo, I like to participate in different programs that we are being offered here in the city. A few years ago, I participated in a chalk festival in Newhall, and three painters, three artists from the Santa Clarita Artists Association and me did together a painting of Van Gogh, Starry Night, and it was 12-foot by 12-foot painting. It was just an amazing experience, first time for me, and I was asked to do an interview about the Chalk Festival, and I did that from the Signal newspaper, and I was featured in their magazine inside and also on the cover. That was a great surprise for me. Didn't expect it. The city is offering a lot of good programs. It's something that we need to take advantage of it. First floor gallery at City Hall, the Santa Clarita Artists Association gallery. We just need to enjoy them. They're all available. There's a saying in the Talmud, if I'm not for myself, who will be? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? That for me says it all. Only we know what's best for us. We need to be proactive, how we can improve ourselves, teach ourselves something new, educate ourselves, have knowledge about the subjects that we're interested in. Only we can do it. Doing what's good for ourselves, that self-love doesn't mean being selfish. So now that I know what to do for myself, I can't do it only for myself. I need to share it generously with others. And so when I share my knowledge, it doesn't diminish at all from my own. Just like my candle can light millions of others, and it still keep its own light. The light only gets bigger. You know, you can't find your own voice if you don't use it. So tap deep inside yourself and use all the tools and the resources you have to express yourself. So I'd like to share with you 7 awesome tips. Number 1, have a beautiful business card. It represents you. Have a clear statement on your postcard. It's your resume. Number 3, know your audience. Know if you need to show in a different gallery, if that's your style. Maybe you need to lower your prices or you can raise them. Number 4, when you're promoting yourself, no bragging or being arrogant. Nobody likes annoying or aggressive hustling. Be mindful of the tone of your promotion. Always be polite to everyone you're dealing with. Number 5, be supportive of your fellow artists. If you can refer other people to their style of art, that would be nice. Networking is very important. After all, we're all growing as artists, and it's important that we'll be here for each other. Go to their receptions, go to see their art shows, be supportive. I don't believe in competition. I believe that there are not two artists alike, that there's room for all of us. Next, number 6, I believe that we keep growing through hard work, through failures, we're still growing and learning. Number 7, realize that when you're going deep inside and creating something from nothing, you are transforming yourself into the next level. Please check out my monthly article at the Santa Clarita magazine with my art in there, and go to www.naomiyoung.com. That was a last-minute hustle. And so, yes, I feel very blessed that I can share my art with people, for doing this symposium tonight. And I hope that it helped. Remember, we have choices in life. And I am a very proud hustler because I'm determined to share my light. And that's a wonderful thing. Thank you.